Hello students, welcome back to another session of newspaper production and design. Here we are going to discuss about interface and workspaces of Adobe InDesign software. So let's start the video without further ado. Well, the first thing that comes to our mind when we are supposed to learn any software package is from where do we get this software. Now, the most probable place is from the college because I presume you already have installed the software in your systems. In case you do not have the software, so you can go to your college and get it installed from the LRC as they have a licensed copy for you all. Now, in the present situation, if it is not possible for you to get it from the LRC, then you can always download a trial copy of the Adobe InDesign software from the Adobe website itself. This trial, the free copy will be available to you for 7 days as a trial, and henceforth you will have to subscribe for the software through different subscription plans. So to do that, what do? First thing I do is I go to the adobe.com website, which lends me to this page, and here I will simply close this because I don't want to go to United States. Now from here I will go to creativity and design, and then from there I will go to view all products. This lends me to this space where I can select this InDesign software. So I can always go and click for the start free trial. When I click it, it gives me an option and it says that do I want to start the free trial or I want to subscribe? Yes, I want to try the free trial. You can see it is for 7 days, it is free. Okay, once I start the free trial, then if I'm an existing Adobe user, then I can type in my username and password, and I can go back. If I'm not an existing Adobe user, then I will have to give my email address, working email address, and register to Adobe first, and then I can get my free trial. So basically you follow the instructions here and you should be able to download a free copy that will be for 7 days. Okay, and that should give you enough time to start working with this particular software and follow the instruction along with me. Otherwise, solution is you can go to your college and they have the licensed version. They can definitely provide you with one. Now, as far as our college is concerned, we are still using InDesign CS6. So I would be working partially with CS6, but personally I work with CC 2018. So time and again you will see me jumping over that. The reason for doing this is also that CC 2018 and the workflow of, though the workflow does not change per se, but the interface of CC 2018 is very similar to interface of CC 2020 or 2019, whatever you can get downloaded. So I will try to show you both of them so that you are familiar with what we are going to talk about. So the very first thing when you are opening your InDesign software, so we'll go to Adobe InDesign. Right now I'm showing you CS6. So as I open, it will take a while, maybe depending on the speed of your machine, to load the software up and all its components to start up the program. Now I intentionally installed the Middle Eastern version for, or more importantly, English Arabic version of Adobe InDesign CS6 because that is what is provided by our college. So we will be mostly working with this. There is a little bit of a issue with this particular version, not issue really, but it is a setting or a preference thing that you always need to be worry about, and I will tell you whenever we are using this version. So I have this InDesign software which is there with me, and also I personally use Adobe InDesign CC. So I'm just trying to find out InDesign, and here is my CC 2020. So I'm loading up both of them just in case I need to use, but mostly I will try to use CC for today's session. But so far as preferences are concerned, I would like to show you the interface so that you are familiar. You don't feel alienated with any of these versions of software. Remember, versions of the softwares are only for the improvement and they don't really change anything. So here you can see the difference. When I am in the InDesign CS6, the interface looks something like this, right? As you can see, and when I'm in CC 2018, the interface looks something like this. It is showing me all the previous works that I have already done, or a list of the works that I'm currently working on. So these are some of the things that I have already done, and it is already published. Now in this one, this I just installed today, otherwise I would have been getting similar kind of listing here, but not with the icon, just the name of the files which will come up here. So let's quickly see how the splash screen, or what is there in the splash screen. So this splash screen that we see, it actually has broadly four areas, in which the very first section is talking about if you want to open an existing document. If you are already working on something, then you can come here and start opening here and work on the document and continue your working. If you are creating something new, then you will be coming over here. And by now we already know what document, what book, and what library means in InDesign from our previous video. Document means a single file which can have multiple pages. Book means a collection of many documents, and library means a collection of many books. Here the section, it is talking about the Adobe community, and you can find different types of InDesign plugins and other partners and exchange groups if you join in such a community. In this section, you are looking at the new features and getting started features of CS6, which is pretty irrelevant for the time being now. And here you can go to different types of sessions that are already running from expert speakers around the world who have joined Adobe community. To join Adobe community, you will have to use your Adobe account. So basically you need to go to Adobe's website, register yourself, and then you will get an Adobe account, just much like Google account or any other email account. And then you can access all these resources, practically this much of the resources with an Adobe account. So for my case, I don't like to see this all the time, because this is just a splash screen and we need not look at it ever. So I'm simply making it do not show again, clicking here. Okay, I'm making it do not show again, and I'll close it. So from next time onwards, I will open the application. It will not show me this splash screen. In case I want to have this splash screen, I can always come up here and enable this welcome screen. Okay. So this is in the CS6, this is how it looks like. I'm going to now CC 2018, the one that I have. It has a more, I think, a recent kind of a look. So I can have arranged my previous files both in the icon format or in the list format. So I personally, and in the list format, it accommodates more per se. So I'm still looking, I like this one, so I'll keep it. So how do you work is, here we will start with create new. From this, or we can also go like the conventional way, file and new, and choose a document. Okay, shortcut is Control N, as you can see. Same thing goes here also. We can come to file and new, okay, and the document, same thing, exactly the same thing, nothing different at all. So the first thing that we will like to see is talking about the interface of InDesign and how the InDesign works. The very first thing we will talk about is the interface of InDesign. Now, when we are talking about the InDesign's interface, much like any other Adobe software, what we see is on the top we have the icon for the name of the software. Then we have this small section which is the menu bar, the main menu bar. Then we have some viewing options here. Okay, all these options are also available and accessible by going to their main menu. These are just given a shortcut for us to use it as and when we require. So this is the viewing options. As you can see, these are the viewing options that we have. Same thing, we can also go up here and find them from screen modes. The same viewing options what we see here are available here. Okay, same thing. This is the enabling, disabling the functions of some of the properties or features. Again, these are same as going down to extra and enabling and disabling things here, and part of it is also from here. The most common ones are listed here. This is the kind of the way I want to see if I have multiple documents open. Like all other Adobe family softwares, InDesign also opens multiple documents in different tabs like Illustrator, Photoshop, everywhere, Flash, Dreamweaver, everywhere. They have this tabbed pane view which you can arrange in different ways. So in the same application, you can run multiple instances of different files, which helps you to work across different files as well. And we come to the other end, the right hand side of the main menu, we find this small box which is saying essential, which basically is a workspace. So the company has already given certain different types of workspaces to suit the need of different people. For example, I'll just click through. First one is advanced, and the moment we see advanced, you will see some panels and there are some change. Mostly noticeable here, the panels, they seem to change. Now, what is exactly a workspace? Workspace is the arrangement of different working elements. In the language of Adobe, they call this as a Docker panels or drawer panels, because they seem like drawer. You click, they open, again you click, they get closed. And after a period of time, when you are getting familiar with these icons, then you can also collapse this to just show you the icons so that you have more workspace to work with your actual document. Well, this is the area, this gray area that you see, this is actually your work area. When you open a file or something, it will show up here. This is work area. Okay, I'm just keep for the time being, for few sessions I will keep it a little bit more like expanded so that we are aware of what we are clicking. So now when if we change another one like book, then I will see all the panels relevant for the management or working with a book. Then we can see digital publishing. So all the panels which are required for digital publishing will come up. So you get the idea. In our course, since we are designing newspapers, we will be mostly keeping up with typography, okay, which allows us to modify types as and when we required. I'll come to this rearrangement of workspace in more detail once I cover entire workspace. So after this time, and here we can search for different informations related to InDesign, and it will try to look into adobe.com and give you ready help if you need some. Now next thing is this portion. The next one, this one is also called the control panel or property inspector or property bar. Now this is again very similar to Photoshop. This is a context sensitive bar which relates to which tool you are using. For instance, I will just make this tool a little bit. You have this small notch which can allow you to arrange the tools in one single line, or it can be arranged in the traditional double line systems. This look, they have kept it right from the time of PageMaker. As you know, InDesign after PageMaker 7, the PageMaker was bought by Adobe company, and they started calling it InDesign, and henceforth we never had anything like PageMaker 8. It's like directly after PageMaker 7, 7.51 update has come, and then they have shifted to InDesign so far as I remember. Adobe was already having InDesign, but it was not as powerful as PageMaker. Once they bought the PageMaker, then they really the two softwares amalgamated very nicely. And the major problem of PageMaker, that is the compatibility with different type of images, is sorted by this merger. Good for all of us who work with InDesign and who are into this printing industry. Coming back to, I will try to keep it collapsed because that allows me to have more work area. You will see how important this work area is when we are working with something. And ideally, when you open a file, I'll just open an empty file. So file, new, and document. Don't worry about what is going on here. We will come back to this. So just click, 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 just to show you what is all about. The moment I open, you can see I get my file. It says the file name and the resolution or the zoom level at which I am looking at this particular file. Depending on what is the size of your screen, this value will change. It will also indicate how much magnification you are looking at. this particular window. Now the moment I open a file, if I don't have a file, I don't have the status bar. If I have the file, I have the status bar which is associated with this file only. It is trying to tell you the status of the file. For example, it is trying to tell me that I have one page in this document, and I am working with a master. I'll come to this, what is master pages, later. And it is, if I have more number of pages, I can swap ahead and backward, and the last page and the first page as and when I want. And this is a status which is telling you whether there is any error in this particular page. Now this is our selection tool, okay, that we already, you just keep your mouse for some time and it will start giving you quick tips. Most of these tools are the same ones which are also used in Illustrator as well as Photoshop. I'll get back to each of these tools in detail later, but for the time being, let us quickly see what is going on. As I said, we will always work with the workspace of typography. Now, in case, say you messed up your workspace or you are not getting things like you brought this, you can actually rearrange everything. You can click them and drag them out. You can again click them and drag them out, and then you can mix them in whatever way you want. Okay, pretty much like other Adobe family softwares, and you can really make a mess of things. And also at times you might have also possibly closed some of them or deleted some of them. It is pretty much possible. And now you can also push them. See, I'm holding these bars and I'm putting them there, and I have rearranged my workspace. Still it says typography. In such cases where I have lost or something is not showing up, I can always go back to this and then look for reset typography. If I was in advanced, then I would have got advanced, reset advanced. So I will simply say reset typography, and that should be bringing me back to the original window or the setup that I had. Now, in case if you are coming to the text, okay, this is very important. Please note that by default, since we have a Middle Eastern version of InDesign installed, it will actually show you 4 text tools. So if you click and keep for around 3 seconds there, then you will find 4 tools. Generally we have 2 tools. I can show you in the other one, that is in my 2018, where I am using the English version or North American version. Okay, so if I go to file and I say new, just like same what I have done, and say document, okay, it asks me this dialog box. So I'm like before, I'm simply clicking here, create. I don't want to say specify anything as of now. I'll come back to this later. So when I create this document, you will find that this tool is having only 2 of them. Okay, so if I hold and click for some time, okay, by the way, you can also see the shortcut for type tool is T. I can have only 2, that is type tool and type on a path tool, while on the contrary in this I have 4 of them. Okay, Middle Eastern type tool, which is by default selected, then Middle Eastern type tool on a path, type tool and type tool on a path. Please remember, when you are working with English language, you will have to work with this type tool and not Middle Eastern type tool. This is very, very necessary. By no means you should be starting to write with Middle Eastern type tool when you want to type in English, because this will create a lot of mess when you are trying to set the paragraph correctly. Also, you will notice, since you are by default it is selecting Middle Eastern type tool, here also it is selecting right to left kind of writing, which is suited for writing in Arabic language. Generally in English we need to write from the left to right and not right to left. Okay, having these 2 things out of our way, we will get back to workspace. Now if I am in the type tool, that is in the type tool, not the Middle Eastern type tool, see I was also doing a mistake, you will notice here I have if I click, it gives me all the option from starting from here to this double line here. From here to here it is giving all the options which are very exactly same as this character options. You come up here in the character drawer, you will find the same options are given here. That means this character drawer is pretty redundant for me. I don't need it. So I will take it out and keep it aside. I don't need it. Okay, I'll come to character styles later. And again, if I hit the paragraph, by the way, you notice after double line, separation of double line, there is something which is related with paragraph. So if I click the paragraph, immediately it shows me everything related to paragraph up till the double line. Then again the character section or character choices has come up. Okay, so it is basically, since it cannot accommodate entirely here in my 1920 by 1080 screen, so it is trying to divide. If you have a smaller resolution, you will see less, and if you have a 2K screen, probably you can see the entire thing in one line. Okay, going back, what I was saying is, when the paragraph, again, all the setting of paragraph are available here, right, in the Docker. So again, this Docker becomes very redundant because I don't need it. I can always access it from here whenever I am in the type tool. So I will simply take it out, and these two I will collapse or I will close. So I don't need this, I don't need this. In future, if I need, no problem, everything is available from Windows. This workspace exactly is what same as this workspace. This is a shortcut. This is where it actually resides. So this workspace is where, and the thing that I have taken out, all will be here. You can see, you can check for each one of them and you will find that everything is put out here. In this case, my present situation, I have taken out the things that I have I don't really need. So basically I have taken out this character. Okay, shortcut is Control T. I can always bring it back, and the paragraph, alter Control T. Okay, Control T and alter Control T. So just to show you, I could have easily invoked the shortcut, but just to show you, I will quickly show. So if you have deleted, and if somehow somewhere you need, you can always bring it by pressing Control T to bring the character, or alter Control T to bring the paragraph. Well, I don't really need it, so I will close this. So what else is this? Now, since these two are same, so I will try to also take the character and put it in this block. So we have one block here. And in most of our arrangements or design purposes, we really need to add shapes, subtract shapes, then mix shapes. So what we need very frequently, as I find, is this object layout one, which is align, pathfinder and transform. These are very, very useful. So I will just press align and it will come with all three of them. See, align, pathfinder, both of them are there. This is what I will really require, so I will keep it there. When I'm working with different types of shapes, this will be very handy. Now I have really changed the workspace to my liking. So I really want this workspace to be saved. So I can go here, typography, and I can click new workspace, or I can go to Windows and I can come here to the workspace and again go for new workspace. So if I press new workspace, it allows me to keep a record of the panel locations and the menu customizations that I have done, and I can write it a name. So since my name is Udayan Mishra, I will write UDAYAN and say this is my workspace that I have created, my custom workspace. So I'll hit OK, and henceforth I have this Udayan always available for me. So if any time by mistake something is again getting messy, say for example I delete something, or for that matter I can always reset it and it will get back that particular info that is missing. It will rearrange my workspace every time I need. Or say I'm working with again some other workspace, like as I said, a typography, okay, which this entire course we will try to stick to typography. So if I'm in typography, I want to go to Udayan again, I click and I should be getting back to Udayan. So this is the basic interface or working environment or working area of InDesign.